Hey, well, earlier today I got to co-host Excellent Meetup with Dawn from Excellence Northwest, where we went over this topic that she brought to the table. Vulnerability is sexy. It was a really fascinating topic that she learned from going to a conference at the Toastmasters convention, and it was put on by Corey Blake from Roundtable Companies. Corey Blake created this awesome game called Vulnerability is Sexy. It's this amazing card game that works as an excellent icebreaker for uh, really kind of getting people to open up in a group, in a party, and be able to like start sharing some vulnerable aspects of themselves in order to create connection with everybody that's there. Well, Corey also put on the presentation that Dawn got to share with us today, and it was all about how we as a business can create connection among our audience and be able to be put ourselves out there in order to attract the tribe that we're looking for. It has a great saying of how do we show up and invite people into our wholeness so that people join our tribe or they go play in another sandbox. I love that. So I just want to cover kind of the five phases that Don shared with us of how not only can we as individuals create connection and by through vulnerability, but also like as a brand. I know with the identity movement, this was really fascinating to me of like how can we share more of ourselves and be authentic as a business. Meanwhile, doing something that seems a little counterproductive by being vulnerable, you attract your tribe and everybody else that isn't interested in your brand, they then have the information to go play in another sandbox. So I really like this concept. So the first phase is flirtation. And this is when you're either meeting a person for the first time or as your audience being introduced to the brand for the first time. And that's sharing your past and describing like how we show up. Um, there's always the common like the first thing that we tend to do is like really kind of shield our past from anyone knowing because that's very personal information. So this seems counterproductive, but first step, showing up and sharing small pieces of your past. The second phase is the coffee phase, and that's like going to a coffee shop where you get to know each other just a little bit more. Um, Pride comes into this, and that can be a trigger word for a lot of people, but Corey shares it as in um, sharing to create curiosity with your audience or with the other person, describing who we are now and what we're proud of, and just putting that out there on the table. If the audience member or the person you're talking with, they're starting to get a gauge of like who you are and what you stand for. The third phase is dinner, and that's where we go a little bit deeper. And you share the world from behind your eyes. You get to share your viewpoints, your opinions, your beliefs, and how did you come to have these? And so we're diving deeper in a little bit deeper conversation, and that's the message of the brand that you're sharing with them, with your audience, or with an individual. I like how scalable this is. Number four is the second date. The possibility of rejection then enters into the realm. And so this is an opportunity to share deeper parts of yourself, putting it out there on the table, and they are either going to love you or be looking for the door at this point. And and it's okay because you're actually like saving yourself a lot of energy and time by really finding your target audience. And that target audience by now is either going to be really starting to connect and attach to what you're saying because they're going to be feeling the same way, or they're going to start making their way to the door. So you're saving them time and you're saving yourself time with just putting things out on the table. The fifth phase is the big night. And this is where intimacy comes in. Moments of experience where we stayed away from ourselves. We like fell off of our like life path and kind of end up in some dark areas and realms in order for us to like go through challenges to find ourselves. And so then we can then get back on track and be the whole person that we were meant to be. So sharing this very like intimate journey that we went through in order for us to be our true, authentic, vulnerable selves. I really like the way that these 5 phases really allow an individual to slowly come in and to understand you as a brand, understand you as an individual, and you're really like creating your tribe. They're appreciating the connection and the authenticity and the courage it takes to be vulnerable, and also those that are not interested in knowing you, your brand, they have clear signals to head for the exit. And so you're not watering down your audience. You're getting your very specific viewership and customers and audience members to really love who you are. And so I really like this method of flirtation, the coffee, the dinner phase, the second date, the big night, how that kind of helps conceptualize these things in your mind and shows you the process of how we can, with a guide, with a framework, be able to share ourselves more with our company, with our coworkers, and with our personal relationships. So I found this really fascinating and hope that you got something out of this too. Thanks.